Hello, this is Dr. Hobbolt, and I'm going to help you solve this problem. It says a school held a jump roping contest. Diego jumped rope for 20 minutes. Jada jumped rope for 15 minutes. What percentage of Diego's time is that? So I'm actually going to solve this problem with the table. So I would copy this table down on your whiteboard or on your paper. So I'm going to make a table. I'm going to keep track of percentage of Diego's time. So that's my percent symbol. Let me make it clearer. Maybe I'll make my pen a little smaller. So percentage of Diego's time. And the minutes. So 100% of Diego's time would be 20 minutes. And we're wondering what 15 minutes would be. So one way that we can solve this problem is to kind of think about some building blocks that we did with some other problems. So why don't we figure out first, let's put 15 down here. And let's think about 5 minutes. What percentage of Diego's time would that be? So how do we get from 20 to 5? We divide by 4. So over here, let's divide by 4. What's 100 divided by 4? That's going to be 25. So now, how do we get from 5 to 15? 5 times what is 15? 5 times 3. So we can do the same thing with the 25. We would need to multiply by 3. So when you do 25 times 3, you'll have the answer to this problem. And 25 times 3 is 75. So Jada jumped rope for 75% of Diego's time. You might have noticed that 15 and 20, so let's think about Jada's time. The ratio of Jada's time to Diego's time. That would be 15 minutes over 20 minutes. And what if we wrote 15 over 20 as a decimal? So 15 over 20 as a decimal. This is something that's worthwhile to think about, because we would have 15 over 20. Well, if we want to maybe get a common denominator of something like 100, we could multiply this by 5 over 5. So we could say 15 over 20 times 5 over 5 to get an equivalent fraction. So this would be like 15 times 5 over 20 times 5. And 15 times 5 is 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. So we get 75 over 20 times 5 is 100. So what do you notice here? We get 75 over 100, and what's a ratio, or a percentage again? That's like a rate per 100, 75 per 100. So notice here, we can take this fraction, we can attempt to write it as a decimal, and in that process, we're going to discover the percentage. So 75 hundredths we could write like this. In both of these, this is just 75%. So this is sort of getting us warmed up to a pattern that we're going to see in this lesson. So I might try this approach on future videos. Thanks so much for working this problem with me, and I hope it'll help you be successful.